Today we're taking a look at the Clippers vs Mavericks match, which is happening on Friday, June 4, 2021, and giving you my betting tips and predictions in general on this game. Welcome back to High Stakes. Let's get straight into it. Also, don't forget to subscribe to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos. And if you would like more betting tips and predictions, then check out our Patreon in the link down below. Our new Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. 5 plans are available for each and every one of you. You can get 30 extra betting picks all the way up to 270 extra betting picks per month. Stop wasting hours and hours of your time searching the internet for some fake betting predictions and losing your money because of it. Join High Stakes Patreon now and get the best betting picks and advices instantly. After losing the first 2 games at home, Coach Lue appeared to make all the necessary adjustments for the Clippers to fight their way back into this series. Lue removed Patrick Beverley and Ivica Zubac from the lineup and elected to go small, starting Reggie Jackson, Nicholas Batum, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, Marcus Morris. Los Angeles is 2-5 ATS in their last 7 games overall and 2-6 ATS in their last 8 playoff games as a favorite, while the under is 10-3 in their last 13 games following a loss. Dallas is 7-3 ATS in their last 10 games overall and 5-2 ATS in their last 7 games as an underdog, while the under is 8-1 in their last 9 games as a home underdog. The under is 7-2 in the last 9 meetings between these two teams and 4-1 in the last 5 meetings between these two teams in Dallas. Removing Beverley allowed the Clippers to have some size on the floor, and removing Zubac put a switchable wing in his place, as both were consistently exploited by Doncic in the pick and roll, with the Clippers switching every screen. The results were tremendous, leading to a 10-point win in Game 3 and a 25-point win in Game 4. Those results led many to believe the Clippers would win Game 5 and close out of the series in 6 games. But breaking generational curses doesn't come easy, and that's also true for the Clippers, who have taken every opportunity to make things tougher on themselves. While the Clippers struggled from 3-point range in the first half, shooting 7 of 20, 35%, compared to the Mavericks 8 of 17, 47.6%, things eventually even out and they were able to take a 70-64 third quarter lead. At the very moment it seemed the Clippers were going to completely seize control of both Game 5 and the series, they allowed the Mavs to go on 25-5 run and trailed 91-75 entering the 4th quarter. Despite the bad run, the Clippers showed some adversity fighting back into the game. Down 10 with 2:13 left in regulation, the Clippers pulled off their own 9-0 run and were a blown layup away from taking the lead with 9 seconds to go. The Mavericks had complete control of this series until Doncic suffered a neck strain, which completely shifted the momentum. Doncic played his worst game of the series in Game 4, scoring 19 points on 9 of 24, 37.5% shooting, including 1 of 7, 14.3%, from beyond the arc. Treatment and rest appeared to work well for Doncic as he returned to his previous form in Game 5, scoring 42 points, shooting 6 of 12 from behind the arc, dishing out 14 assists and grabbing 8 rebounds. The Mavericks had 6 baskets all game that weren't scored or assisted by Doncic. There have been rumors swirling around that the Clippers tanked to face the Mavericks because they thought that would be an easier first-round matchup. I don't believe it, as the seedings for the 5, 6, and 7 spots weren't determined until the final day of the regular season, as 3 teams all had the same record. But nonetheless, they have their hands full with the Mavericks and now face elimination. The Clippers had a golden opportunity to take control of this series with Game 5 at home, but the home team has not won a game in this series, and that held true Wednesday as the Clippers lost 105-100. The Clippers had a bad shooting night, shooting only 41%. Paul George led the attack with 23 points and 10 rebounds, while Kawhi Leonard and Reggie Jackson each had 20 points. Marcus Morris added 16 points for the Clippers, while Nick Batum had 10. The road team has won every game of this series, and I expect that to continue in Game 6. With Coach Lou's adjustment to remove Beverley and Zubac from the starting lineup and gone small, the Clippers have gotten a handle on this series. Outside of giving up a 25-5 run in the third quarter of Game 5 and Leonard having a poor shooting night, they've been the better team since that point. The Mavericks were downright dominant offensively in the first half, scoring 54 points on 1.217 points per possession while shooting 8 of 17 from behind the arc. After being down 6 points in the third quarter, they took control of the game with a 25-5 run to go up 91-75 in the fourth. My first betting advice for that game is to pick LA Clippers -3. As has been stated, the home team has not won a game in this series. I've said it a few times already, but it is just so unusual in the NBA that it bears repeating. I don't know that has ever been happened in an entire series in NBA history. Dallas, after getting their doors blown in at home, went to LA on Wednesday and beat the Clippers 105-100. It wasn't pretty as they only shot 41%, but it was gritty. One of the biggest adjustments head coach Rick Carlisle made was playing two bigs, with the Clippers electing to play small ball. Carlisle moved away from the traditional starting lineup of Doncic, Finney Smith, Maxi Kleber, Kristaps Porzingis, and Tim Hardaway. Instead, he went with Doncic, Finney Smith, Boban Marjanovic, Porzingis, and Hardaway. The Mavericks played a 2-3 zone, packing the paint, and for the first half it actually had solid results, throwing off the Clippers' rhythm and forcing their role players to hit shots. The Los Angeles Clippers will look to bounce back and force a Game 7 after falling behind in the series 3-2 with a 105-100 loss to the Mavs on Wednesday. Paul George led the Clips with 23 points, 10 rebounds, and 6 assists for the double-double, while Kawhi Leonard and Reggie Jackson each had 20 points, with Jackson drilling 6 threes. Ivica Zubac had 11 rebounds off of the bench, while Nicholas Batum and Marcus Morris Sr. each scored in double figures as well. Kawhi Leonard leads the Clippers in scoring so far in the playoffs, putting up 30.4 PPG with 7.8 RPG, while Paul George is second in scoring and tops and rebounding, averaging 24.6 PPG and 8.8 RPG as well as 4.8 APG this season. Reggie Jackson and Marcus Morris Sr. are also averaging double digits in scoring, while Rajon Rondo is leading the Clippers with 5.8 APG this postseason. The Clippers are averaging 109.6 PPG on 48.9% shooting from the field, 36.6% from three-point range, and 82.1% from the foul line, while allowing 106.8 PPG on 45.5% shooting from the field and 42.3% from downtown in their last 5 games. It'll be interesting to see how Dallas defends the Clippers going forward. The Mavericks are ahead in this series based on their offense, which is scoring 116.3 points per 100 possessions, but they haven't slowed down the Clippers consistently. Nonetheless, they're just one win away from clinching this series, so if they can capture some of their early series shooting variance, they could be advancing to the second round. The Dallas Mavericks will look to close out the series and be the first team to win a home game in this series after taking the series lead on the road last time out. My second betting advice for that game is to pick under 216.5. Good luck to all of you. That's it for this video. Stay tuned and stay safe for the next betting tips and advice.